All right, Kelly Fryer, David Garcia, Senator Steve Farley. You have debated, been at forums at least, what, 25, 26 times, a lot. You get a lot of credit for that. It's a great thing for voters. You can probably recite each other's talking points, many of which you've already heard here today. But here's my question. Is there one thing either of your opponents have said that you would like to hear them flesh out, explain right now? Kelly Fryer.
Well, you know, I think I want to know who's the real David Garcia. In forums, you know, you've said that you oppose the ending the death penalty and then walk that back. You've said that you want to abolish ICE and then you've walked that back. And you've talked about your support for public schools, but we know your history with the charter school movement, in fact, helping craft the charter school system that we have here in Arizona. So I think I just want to say, who's the real David?
Yeah, well, that's a big question, and we have a minute to answer this. Look, I have been consistent.
I mean, I like both of you.
Well,
let's David Garcia.
I have been consistent in my positions the entire time. With respect to charter schools in 2014, I was clear that we needed more transparency and accountability on behalf of charter schools and some more flexibility on behalf of traditional public schools. That position hasn't changed, and it's continued to stand exactly firmly where we are. I've said from the beginning, I want to replace ICE with an immigration system that works. That has always been my stance. And I oppose the death penalty. You know, and those have been consistent positions I have taken from the very beginning.
All right, David Garcia. What would you like either of your opponents to flesh out?
That's a good question. You know, Brahm, that's the first time I've thought about this.
Come on.
I'll be honest with you. I put time and energy into our campaign. I put time and energy into presenting who we are as a campaign. And I say that because I believe that what candidates want to know is who you are specifically. We've got a big team. We've got 15 teams across the state. That is where I put my time and energy.
All right, let's get to Steve Farley then. Yeah. Steve Farley. One thing either of your opponents have not fleshed out to your liking.
This has come my way.
Well, yeah, David,
sure.
One of the things I've heard you say, you've talked about your position as Director of Policy for Lisa Graham-Keegan when she was the Superintendent of Public Instruction.
And that's about 18, 20 years ago.
Yeah, she was a Republican who actually started the charter school movement when she was a legislator. She's a big fan of privatization. Mm-hmm. You've said alternately that was an executive position, and then you said it was just doing data. So executive position says that maybe you were doing strategy for Lisa Graham-Keegan, and the data one says it wasn't an executive position. Which one is it?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I actually had two positions at the Department of Education. One was Director of Research under Lisa Graham-Keegan, where I worked on exciting research like our dropout rate, our graduation rate, and school report cards. I also had another position at the Department of Education as the Associate Superintendent for Standards and Accountability, which is an executive position. And in that position, I worked on school accountability. I worked on, again, school report cards and accountability. So in my 20+ years in education policy in Arizona, I have been in both kinds of positions. I've also worked at the state legislature as well. I've led task force across the state on education issues, and it's because my experience really has been in education, which is why I feel like I'm in the best position to address our education issues.
Got your answers? Okay.
Not really.
Well, we're going to pause here and we're going to switch the debate over to 12news.com for a fifth web-only segment with the three candidates. So if you're watching on the web, please stay with us. If you're watching on 12 News, watching 12 News on your TV on a Sunday morning, you can find this fifth segment on 12news.com. We'll see you there in just a few minutes, or we'll see you back here next weekend for another round of Sunday Square Off.